Hey everyone, it's Carissa Wiley at sprinkledwithglitter.com. Thanks for joining me today. Today I am sharing two projects that feature some brand new products from the Essentials by Ellen line. Love is in the air, and I think you're going to feel it with these projects. I'm actually combining several of the new products to create these projects. And the products that I am not using, I'm just going to flip through here really quickly. There's some great stamps with coordinating dies. I love this bubblegum machine. It's called I Choose You. And there's some great line art imagery in this collection as well. I think there are so many ways that you can use it, but here is a look at the products that I am using today. And the first one is this Valentine Mail Hot Foil stamp. I'll be using the Big Love stamp set. It does have a coordinating die set. I'm not using the dies today. This is the Treat Yo Shelf stamp and coordinating die set, the library card pocket die, and the Essential Hearts, which I have been asking for quite some time. The people over at Ellen Hudson finally delivered. And if you're familiar with the Essential Shape dies from Ellen Hudson, you know that they come on two magnetic backers. There are two sheets of these dies, and they cut not only the shape itself, but also a cool frame. And then finally, the Valentine Vibes stamp set, which coordinates with the Sentiment Strips die, and I'm going to show you how you use that here. First, I'm going to start with the Treat Yo Shelf, as in the shelves of a library or the shelf of a library stamp set. And I am going to stamp this library card pocket in some Ballet Slipper ink from Concord and Ninth. And I'm just stamping onto some Concord and Ninth smooth white cardstock because I'm going to be doing a little foiling over the top of the stamping. I love layering hot foil images over stamping or other hot foiling. You can absolutely do that. You don't have to just foil on a plain piece of cardstock, but I am going to give you a couple of tips to make that work today. So once I've stamped two of those library card pockets, I'm going to take the Big Love stamp set and that giant love word. I'm going to stamp onto the edge of one of these library cards in some Catherine Pooler Do-Si-Do ink. Now, once I have these stamped, I'm going to go ahead and take the coordinating die. I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to run this through my die cut machine, and I'm going to die cut both of those library cards. Now, you can see that when I die cut that, it actually die cut part of that love word off, and I'm totally okay with it. And on my second library card here, I'm going to use the hearts from the Big Love stamp set. I'm going to stamp those in Grapefruit ink and Ballet Slipper ink. Now, the key to hot foiling over stamping is that you want your ink to be dry. If the ink underneath the foiling is still wet, you may be very disappointed with your results. And I have tried this in the past, and I've found that dry ink works better than wet ink. So I hit it with a heat tool, and now I'm positioning this Sending You Love hot foil stamp from the Valentine Mail hot foil plate set or stamp set here onto my library card pocket, and I've held it in place with a piece of low tack tape, and I'm creating a hinge so that I can just kind of hinge it back and then place my foil underneath that. And I am using the Glimmer blush foil today. You can absolutely use Glimmer foil with the Gemini FoilPress. I get that question all the time, and it totally works. I'm going to show you how to do that here in just a second. First, I want to go ahead and create my library card pocket because I'm going to be hot foiling on the front of this as well. So I have used the library card pocket die and die cut it from some Concord and Ninth wheat cardstock. And this die creates all of the score lines that you need. So I'm just folding over on those score lines and reinforcing that with a bone folder. And then on the two small tabs, I'm going to place some score tape, some really heavy duty tape to hold this all together. Now I'm creating two of these pockets, so I'm doing all of these processes twice, but I'm just showing it to you once here. And I'm taking this kind of postage cancel hot foil stamp, I guess that's what you would call it. And I'm using that repositionable tape again to adhere it onto the front of the pocket of that library card pocket. And then I place my foil underneath, and I put it onto my Gemini foil press. Now, the thing about using Glimmer foil with the Gemini foil press is you want to make sure that you have your foil press on medium heat. So now I'm taking my library card and I'm placing that onto the platform of the Gemini foil press as well. I have my timer set to a minute here. That seems to work for me. And once that minute timer runs out, then I'll remove the platform and run that through my Gemini Junior to press the foil onto my cardstock. And you can see I have gorgeous results on this Concord and 9th cardstock. And I'm going to show you the beautiful results I got on this white cardstock as well. Now, it's really hot here, but I'm trying to pull it off anyway. It's kind of like when you try to eat the fries when they're too hot. I couldn't wait, so I just needed to pull it off. And then, of course, I repeated that step on my second library card as well. So now it's time to assemble my library card pocket, and I'm just removing the backer from that score tape adhesive and folding those tabs over, and then I'm just going to fold this all together. There's only 2 points of contact on this library card pocket. It goes together really easily. It's very simple, self-explanatory. You're going to take that longer tab and just fold it over there onto the larger back there, and just make sure that those tabs are placed down with the adhesive to hold it all together. Now I've grabbed my little library card from the Treat Your Shelf stamp and coordinating die set, and I've placed that into the pocket. It fits perfectly. Now this is the Valentine Vibe stamp set, and it has this large one-piece stamp that stamps several sentiments at once. I love these from Ellen Hudson, the Essentials by Ellen line. There's a few of them. There's like some general sentiments, there's some holiday sentiments, and now these are kind of more love focused. And I'm going to take this large one-piece stamp. I've mounted it onto my black Misty stamping tool. I've prepped the surface of my cardstock with a powder tool. I'm using some blush cardstock here. I inked up my stamp with some Versamark ink and then stamped that onto the cardstock. Then I'm going to add some Wow Super Fine Detail Embossing Powder. I'll knock off the excess and then I'm going to heat set that. And this is giving me several sentiments stamped and embossed all at once. And then I can take the coordinating sentiment strips die cut those out, and now I have all of these sentiments ready to go on cards. And I love to do this on different colors of cardstock as well as white cardstock. It's fun just to have these little sentiment strips on hand and ready to go for any project. Now I'm using the Essential Heart dies in a couple of different sizes, and I'm die cutting them from some various pink shades of cardstock. I'm going to use not only the frames of these Essential Hearts, but also the actual heart piece. I guess that would, I don't know, the shape. The frame and the shape. I'm losing my words here today. But I'm going to start by adhering the frames onto the front of my library card pocket there with a little bit of Barely Art liquid glue. And then I have punched a hole in the top of this library card pocket so that I can make a tag out of it. Now I'm using the twine to place through that hole in the top of the library card pocket, and I have one of those Valentine Vibes sentiment strips layered up with a second strip that I've die cut from some darker pink cardstock, and those are just going to kind of dangle over the front of this library card pocket to add a little sentiment and a little bit of a moving element. I placed my library card inside the pocket along with those solid hearts, and then I added a couple more strips in there just for a fun little kind of accent. Now for the second library card pocket, I decided I wanted to place this on a card, but I wanted there to be a background on this card. So I'm using one of the Essential Hearts here, and I'm die cutting it from some cardstock that I've added some sheet adhesive to the back of. So this is the Altenew sheet adhesive. And what I'm going to do is use all of these delicate heart frames on my card base to create a background. So you can see I've die cut about 8 of those. I already have the adhesive on the back because I applied that sheet adhesive to the back of my cardstock before I die cut it. So now all I have to do is remove the backer from these heart frames and place them onto my card base. And this makes it so much easier because I'm not fussing with a lot of liquid glue. Now, I know that sheet adhesive can be a little more expensive, but sometimes it's just worth the extra dollar or whatever to make your life easy. So that's what I did today. I needed easy, I needed fast. And so rather than fuss with liquid glue, I went ahead and used the sheet adhesive. I splurged. It's okay to splurge every now and then. This is also a great trick if you want to stack several of these die cuts on top of each other. And you can see I have them laid out and I'm just using my tweezers to kind of place them onto the card base. And once I know I have them where I want them, I'm going to press them down with my fingers and then go over those die cut shapes with a bone folder to make sure they're really pressed onto that cardstock. Now, once all of those are adhered down, I'm going to flip this over and I'm going to use a pair of long blade scissors to trim off the excess die cuts here that are hanging over the edge of the card. I don't need those, and so I'm just going to trash them. But I do recommend a pair of long blade scissors for that because it makes cutting along that edge of that card really easy. Then I'm going to take my library card pocket project here and just place that onto the front of my card base. I did add a couple of glitter strips into these pockets as well for a little extra shine. And I just have some extra bits tucked in there with some sentiment strips and stuff just to add kind of like almost like that mixed media effect. I know this is not mixed media, but kind of that effect just with a few extra fun little things there. So that completes my card projects or my library card projects today that feature this hot foil stamping right over the top of that traditional inky stamping that we do. The key points of this are really just making sure that your ink is dry and making sure you're using a smooth cardstock like the Concord & Ninth white cardstock. I love it for foiling. So here's a final look at the projects with all the little fun goodies tucked inside those library card pockets. I think this release from the Essentials by Ellen line, which is available exclusively at ellenhudson.com, is a fabulous release here just in time for all your Valentine crafting. But there's also products in here that are going to take you well beyond Valentine month or February for all of your card making projects. As always, I will have links to the featured products used in these projects in the description at YouTube. So if you're looking for something in particular, be sure you check there, or you can head on over to my blog at sprinkledwithglitter.com. I'll have that linked below as well. Over there, you'll find more still shots, more information, a complete list of supplies, as well as some information on an Instagram hop celebrating this brand new release. There will be prizes and so much eye candy you don't want to miss out. There are some fabulous designers on the ellenhudson.com design team. And if you want to head right on over to Instagram to celebrate and hop along with us, I will have my Instagram profile linked in the video description at YouTube as well. As always, thank you so much for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed these projects. I hope you enjoyed seeing this hot foil stamping over traditional stamping. I think it's a fun way to layer up various elements on your card projects. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button. Go ahead and click subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of my paper crafting and card making video tutorials. And of course, I love it when you say hi to me in the comments as well. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, I hope you have a fabulous day.